Well, hey guys, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the Athearn rerun of SD70ACes. The SD70ACe from Athearn has been released a few times, but they keep changing variations and improving the product. Today we're looking at the Tsunami 2 version of the SD70ACes with, in this case, the Norfolk Southern Barcode unit, which is 1111, and we've got the UP Heritage units and a CN unit, as well as a KCS unit. So lots of different units to look at in the Athearn SD70ACe release. $299.98 MSRP once again. Let's get started on the review next. Okay, let's take a look. We're going to unbox the Barcode unit here. This has a lot of interest. A lot of these are sold out already, but there's some out there at brick and mortar hobby shops and online retailers, so I always like to get the review out to you guys regardless, because you need to know what you're buying. Tsunami 2 diesel Quickstart guide, 28 functions now, some not used. If you want to have more details on that, go ahead and blow it up to 1080p and pause the screen. Other side of the Quickstart guide, there is calibrating soundtracks. You've got the Athearn news flyer. You have Horizon Hobby 1 year limited warranty card still, manual still gloss, 22 pages, goes over maintenance, goes over exploded parts, goes over functions, and the locomotive itself. Now in this case, let's see here, you've got some sanding lines you can add on your own, pretty easy to do. On the Heritage units, you've got swappable PTC antenna arrays. I believe some of the other units as well. Packaging for Athearn remains the same as it's been for years. We're going to go ahead and unbox this. So we're going to open it up here and pull the locomotive out. Got a little bit of foam going on, but we'll go ahead and get the handrails protection out and take a closer look next. Okay, our primary focus will be on the NS Barcode unit here. I'm going to show some other schemes very quickly, and I mean very quickly. The Heritage units I'm only even going to show one side on, and then we're going to move on to operation. So the front of the locomotive, you've got MU hose, accessory hoses, silver tip painted ends, McHenry coupler, snow plow, coupler cut lever. You've got the yellow handrails like on NS, nice NS cab here with a cab entry door along with a hatch to open the door. Sand filler hatches, separately applied grab irons. You've got the windshield wipers, which you can probably see, Barcode number boards. Number boards are not backlit. Still incandescent bulbs in this latest run. You've got sunshades, cab window sunshades, the PTC antenna array up top. The top is removable, and I just removed a antenna instead, so that's gonna have to be glued on. Let me go ahead and pull the top up here, maybe. Usually grab it by the antenna, but I'm kind of afraid to at this point. But there you have it. And then on the inside you can see the cab interior. You can easily get to the top lighting. You got two magnets there. You can tint it, like I'll show you I did on the Heritage units, which is some black paper. Or you can put in cab figures, pretty much whatever you want to do. Just make sure you, when you put it back, you dip it in under the headlight housing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the unit there. NS, you've got the blower housing on the side, dynamic brake fan area, exhaust area, the actual engine exhaust up here. You've got the Barcode 1111, that's why they call it the Barcode unit. A slight window glazing. Got nice truck detail. Again, you can add your own sanding lines. They didn't add them because they'd been breaking a lot in transit. You've got see-through detail with fans on the back. Handrails seem to be sturdy, and all the stanchions are planted with the exception of this front one here. You got safety tread on walkways, rear ditch lights that are operational, I believe. We'll take a look at that. More of the same with the back, accessory hoses, MU hose, coupler cut lever, McHenry coupler. You've got a very nice thin brake wheel back here, a little bit of paint missing off of a corner of it there. Emergency shut off on the fuel tank is there. Air dryer, jacking pads, lots of underbody detail. And that's going to do it for the NS Barcode unit. Alright, here's a quick look at the KCS unit. You've got the dome style antenna. There is not a PTC antenna array in the box. I believe that's because KCS doesn't have PTC antenna arrays. I've noticed if they weren't prototypical that Athearn didn't include that in the box, just like on the George Bush 4.1 we'll take a look at later. So again, more of the same detail. They do have some road specific detail. As you can see on the back, there aren't ditch lights like there are on NS, the NS Barcode unit, and some other variations we won't really go into too much in the sake of time. You've noticed when I do multi-scheme reviews it gets really long, but there is a 360 of the locomotive, and once again, just the front stanchions, it seems like on a couple of these just pop out, so you can see that pretty well yourself, but we'll get that back in there off camera. And the rest of the stanchions seem to be pretty good. Handrails seem to be pretty straight. It's just that front stanchion for some reason. Okay, now the C Inversion here. Just another one of the ST70ACEs. Again, no PTC antenna array, swappable roof. You got the old, or the original single line antenna there. Probably correct for the prototype. Didn't really have time to research that. Everything else looks to be in place. Again, no actual handrail issues. Slight wave at the front again with these handrails. I don't know if something's going on in the packaging in the front, and a slight kind of cave in the back, looking down the back like this, which I know is now out of focus, but you can kind of see the cave in a little bit. Not much problems though on the handrails. Outside of that, just wanted to give you guys a nice scheme. I really like this scheme. It's got a blue flake, metallic flake appearance to it, and the EMD demos on the last run did have PTC antenna arrays. So there you have it. This is the CN/demo scheme. Alright, we're going to save a little time here. We're going to look at the display case. This was the first run of the locomotives, the ST70ACEs. First rerun, I should say. Had original Tsunami in it. Had Mopac, Western Pacific, and the Katy. And then in this run, what's been added is the Rio Grande, Chicago Northwestern, Southern Pacific. There's a lot of glare there. And the George Bush 4141. So instead of doing 360s on these, I'm just going to do it this way to save some time. One thing I do want to show you guys though is I took just plain black paper and I wedged it in there after opening the roof, and now you have a nice black effect, blackout effect on the locomotives. So that's pretty cool, I think. A lot of interest on the Rio Grande. It gets the most interest, so we'll go ahead and take that down and I'll kind of show you what I did. Alright, as you can see, if you hold that up to the light, you get a pretty clear view of the cab. It's just a frosting, I'd like to call it, on the locomotive. It's not pitch black like I've seen on some, so what I did with these is with the PTC antenna array and the swapping of the roofs, makes it easy to tint the windows in multiple ways. The way I decided to go was just 2 pieces of black paper inside. I know it doesn't seem like much, but when you put the lid on and it gets the cab nice and dark, you've got a nice jet black tint. So I think it looks more realistic. I've seen all Heritage units in person, all UP Heritage units. I think it gives it a more realistic look. And obviously if you hold it up to the light, you're not getting anything either. So I think it's a more realistic look, and I did this with all of them. Since we have the Rio Grande down and there's so much interest, I'll show you how they do the PTC antenna arrays. Again, not on the George Bush 4141, but on all the other locomotives there. The UP Heritage locomotives, I should say. There's a quick run of the Rio Grande. I showed you guys the other ones. So let's get into operation. Okay, we're going to go and apply track power so we can listen. Okay, we're going to go do bell F1. Horn F2. F3 short horn. F4 dynamic brakes. Go straight to idle. Remove it, you'll get dynamic brakes. F5 handles the ditch lights, and anytime I hit F5 with F8 already programmed in, for some reason it also mutes it. F6 is also another lighting effect that isn't on this case, but ditch lights are operational front and back. F7 is dimmer, which works. F8 will mute it. In this case I'll turn the sound back on. F9 is alternate mixer, which turns it to half volume, which I think is really needed in this locomotive. It's very loud out of the box. F10 is straight to 8. Sends it to notch 8 so you can hear it rev up. So I'll turn that off, do a couple more, couple F13. And then you've got handbrake, got HEP mode, fuel loading sequence, general service sequence. And then got all aboard on F23. So then you can notch up and down individually with F26 and F27. And emergency stop will hit a red bars light if we had it, but we don't have it on this one. So that's most of the functions of the Tsunami 2. We'll go ahead and move into slow speed control next. Alright, we're going to move this at 126 speed steps. Just the first 5 on my MRC Prodigy Advanced Elite system. It's 1. 2. Doesn't look like any lurch at all at 1 or 2. 3. 4, and 5. Take a quick look at reverse here. pretty smooth. 2, 3, 4, and 5. One thing I noticed, the ditch lights are flashing out of the box. Check the rear. I'm just as unsure as you are on whether the rear ditch lights will flash, if there's enough functions, but they do light up as you can see here. Let's hit the horn. So no rear flashing. So even the Tsunami 2 apparently doesn't have enough functions to do that, or they just chose not to. I'm not sure which. We're going to do a quick pull test here. It's like 2.2. Also turn off the sound so you can hear the motor. It's pretty quiet. Most of what you're hearing is rail grind from the wheels. A pretty quiet motor. 2.2 in the pull test means that each locomotive can pull about 37 or 38 cars. The general rule is 15 cars per ounce. So not ideal, but it'll do. You can have a 2 or 3. You're probably going to require about a 3-unit consist in order to get, you know, over a 100-car train if you wanted to do something of the sort. All right, we're going to weigh this locomotive here. Just slightly over a pound. That's 1 pound, 1.5 ounces, 17.5 ounces total, 495 grams or 0.495 kilograms. All right, one last thing. I wanted to give you some eye candy. Dun, 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 dun. There are all of the variations that we just took a look at together on the SD70ACe, most recent run with Athearn here. Tsunami 2. Got KCS on the back here, kind of peeking, hiding out a little bit. The Norfolk Southern Barcode unit, CN, George Bush, Southern Pacific Heritage, CNW Heritage, and Rio Grande. There you have it. Look at all those beauties. All lined up. And what the heck, let's do a 360 so you can see all their tails too. There you have it, all the ones we just took a look at. Hope you enjoyed the review. Let's wrap it up. Well guys, that's going to do it from my layout here on the review of the Athearn Genesis SD70ACe, the most recent release. We looked at several different schemes, some quicker than others. Showed you how you can easily tint windows, went through the actual review and all the tests. In general, I think this is a good locomotive. I like the detail. I think it's the most finely detailed ACE on the market. A little underwhelming on the pull test, but not a huge deal. One thing to watch out for on these is sometimes a connection will jar loose on the board, and it happens to be the truck pickup, because I did notice one of the locomotives was very sensitive to dirty track, and then when looking closer at that locomotive, coming to find out it's got a truck pickup issue. But outside of that, couldn't really find anything wrong with these locomotives. I think they're well executed. I think it's a great product from Athearn. I think Tsunami 2 with a lot of tweaks, configuration variable tweaks or JMRI tweaks, can sound very, very good and right up there with the competition. The box a little loud. I think you should probably cut it down to the half volume. But that's about it. I'm going to leave you with a run by of a few of these. We will see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.